Karate Kid, Legends releases in theaters soon, so now is the perfect time to dive back into the franchise or experience it for the first time. Legends is the sixth film in the long-running Karate Kid franchise that dates all the way back to 1984, meaning there are a few movies audiences might need to see in order to understand it fully. Whether one is a complete newcomer or a long-time fan in need of a refresher, revisiting key entries in the franchise is a great way to gear up for the upcoming installment. Much of the anticipation surrounding Legends is due to the fact that it unites Daniel LaRusso, Ralph Macchio, and Jackie Chan's Mr. Han, meaning the movie serves mainly as a continuation of the franchise's first three films, the 2010 reboot, and the television series Cobra Kai. As with any major franchise release, the buzz around the film encourages audiences to rewatch past movies and gives newcomers a chance to catch up. Several previous entries are considered essential viewing and could be worth watching ahead of the upcoming Karate Kid, Legends. The original Karate Kid trilogy is key to watch before Karate Kid, Legends. Daniel LaRusso's origin story unfolds. The original Karate Kid trilogy, in which Daniel LaRusso's origin story unfolds, is key to watch before Legends. The original 1984 classic introduced the Italian-American teenager who moves to Los Angeles and is trained by Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita, to beat his bullies in a karate tournament. The Karate Kid Part 2, released in 1986, follows Daniel and Miyagi as they travel to Okinawa to visit his dying father, only to encounter a bitter rival with a long-standing grudge. The Karate Kid Part 3, the final film featuring Daniel and Miyagi together, returned the action to Los Angeles. The original Karate Kid trilogy is key to watch, not only because it tells Daniel's story, but also Miyagi's. Though he has passed away by the time Legends is set, his legacy lives on through Daniel, who trains Li Fong, Ben Wang, in the ways of Miyagi-Do, a form of karate named after Miyagi. This includes not only important fighting techniques, such as defensive blocks through muscle memory, but also important life lessons, like the importance of personal balance. It's important to know this backstory since Legends deals with the legacies of the franchise's most important characters, Daniel and Miyagi. The Karate Kid reboot will be important for Legends, too, thanks to Jackie Chan's Mr. Han. The fifth film in the Karate Kid franchise, the 2010 reboot tells a similar story to the original movie, following the 12-year-old Dre Parker, Jaden Smith, who moves from Detroit to Beijing and is trained in Kung Fu by Mr. Han to beat his bully in a tournament. For years, The Karate Kid, 2010, was thought to be a loose remake of the original film from 1984, featuring a similar storyline set in a different continuity, shifting the location to China and replacing karate with Kung Fu, despite its title. However, the announcement of Karate Kid, Legends, featuring Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio reprising their roles in one movie, redefined the remake's continuity by integrating it into the same fictional universe as the first four films. Therefore, watching the Karate Kid reboot from 2010 is equally important before seeing Legends. In Legends, Mr. Han is now the master of a large Kung Fu academy in China, and among his students is Li Fong, the film's new Karate Kid. He moves to New York, and Han follows, who eventually visits Los Angeles to ask Daniel LaRusso for help. In turn, Li trains under both masters, learning Kung Fu from Han and karate defense from Daniel. Legends unites both masters in one movie, making the original trilogy and the 2010 remake the most essential viewing. You can probably skip Hilary Swank's The Next Karate Kid. She likely won't factor into the story. The Next Karate Kid, released in 1994, rebooted the franchise after the original trilogy. It introduced Hilary Swank in her first leading role as Julie Pierce, the movie's titular karate kid who is trained by Mr. Miyagi. The film is a bit of an outlier in the franchise since Miyagi was the only character from the original trilogy to return. Notably, it marks the first film in the franchise without Daniel LaRusso and the first not directed by John G. Avildsen, who helmed the previous three movies. Despite much speculation, Hilary Swank's Julie Pierce never made an appearance in Cobra Kai, and she likely won't factor into Karate Kid, Legends either. Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Han are the only characters confirmed to be returning in Legends, essentially making the next Karate Kid irrelevant to the story it's trying to tell. However, it is possible that Julie will show up in a potential Karate Kid, Legends sequel, bringing back another character who was trained by Miyagi and could pass on the karate skills they have learned to a young pupil in need. Do you need to watch Cobra Kai to understand Karate Kid, Legends? Probably not all of it. It's unlikely that audiences will need to watch the entirety of Cobra Kai in order to understand Karate Kid, Legends. However, with the upcoming movie set 3 years after the events of the television series, there will likely be some subtle references in Legends to Daniel LaRusso's recent life developments as seen in Cobra Kai, which ended in February 2025. Since there are 6 seasons of Cobra Kai, catching up on all of them before Legends would be quite difficult. Additionally, it would be unreasonable for the Karate Kid, Legends filmmakers to require audiences to watch all 65 episodes of a Netflix series in order to understand a 94-minute movie. In turn, Legends likely won't lean too heavily on Cobra Kai, but for the more diehard fans of the franchise, it could enhance the experience slightly. During an interview, Ralph Macchio talked about how, while Cobra Kai does lead into Legends, they are completely separate stories. Legends ultimately follows a new character named Li Fong who trains under the tutelage of Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Han, and in that sense, aims to honor the legacy of the Miyagi-verse and bridge the gap with 2010's Karate Kid, uniting both beloved characters in a brand new chapter. Before Karate Kid, Legends hits theaters, make sure to watch the original trilogy and the 2010 reboot, as these films lay the foundation for the story.